Yeah, okay. Brother and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Abdullah Gunemi, PhD and postdoctor in China. Have some experiences in Egypt, Italy, and China also, institutes and universities. Today, I'm going to show you some information related to the bile acid application in aquaculture. There are three parts in my presentation. The first part is the product and the company presentation, and we are going to take a fast look over this information. The second part is related to the bile acid functions, and the third part related to the bile acid application in research and industry. The first one, the product and the company presentation. The Chancy Group, one of their products, that's the Union. Reunion, this is a bile acid product used in animal health to save the liver health. Also, we have other two products. They are related to the oil extract, natural oil extracts. Our company is the first company producing the bile acid for animal industry, and we are the bile acid setter for their standard production. The third, that's owns the intelligent property of this bile acid production, as we are invented the production way and we set the standard for this bile acid. We have some main changes in our company history, starting from 2004, that's established of our company. And in 2009, we got to the overseas market, to the international market, and followed by some important events that we started a big research cooperation with other universities and institutes around the world, and also in domestic land in China. We have our vision to help and support the feed companies and also support the farming practitioners. So it's not only just for companies, also for our customer, they have small business. And our mission is to use a natural products to achieve low cost and optimize the production for animal and aquaculture industry. We have also other products, and recently we have built the new acid industrial park with the state of art of technology and the procedures in production and safety. Also here that we see that this is a line production started from acidification and some kind of chemical treatments, and it's two lines. The first one is for poultry and the other one is for pig. So the poultry line is specialized for the Muslims and Arabian countries that their culture don't allow to use pig products. And here, this is the stage where we do some dryness for the product during the process. Here is also we consider the green environment. So any waste coming from the factory, it be treated in our factory, and a part go to the neighborhood factory. They are specialized in waste treatment. Our specialist team, we have consultants, we have professors and teachers around from domestic, and also we have our professional team for different, they are specialized in different animals, for livestock, poultry, ruminant, and aqua team. And here we have our exhibition. Show some information about the R&D system and other some scientific publication. Also here some certificates for some patients we have created. Also here, as we see that there's in the industry, there are many kind of bile acid, and all they don't have the same characteristic. So they are changed, the fine, the color might be also the effect. And so that is why we are setting some standards, and we approved that by Chinese Agriculture Ministry to know exactly what characters it could be, provide the customer with a safe product. Actually, in 2009, we started to go to the international, and we have some office in one office in Cairo and another in Australia, and we tried to spread around the world for many countries to present our product and to get benefits for our customer around the world. Here are some pictures with some customer in some conferences and other exhibitions, and we wish next time we have our pictures together in our presentation. Actually, we are not just la chance of today. We are have planning and plans and future view to develop la chance to be the #1 company in the bile acid industry for animal health. We come here to the second part, and actually this part is focus on the bile acid function. So in this part, we will understand how bile acid help us in production. So each one of these 8 points, it's a one function for the bile acid, and this function help us to solve one problem in production process. The first one is fatty acid delivery. As we know that the feed have kind of lipids in different from different sources, but the bile acid help us here in 3 stages. The first one is emulsification, and emulsification means here the big one, like as you see here, the big droplet could be broken to the small one, and which means we increase the surface for the bile for the lipase activity, which it is the second one, it's the digestion. The third one, the bile acid doing here to increase the fat delivery is the absorption. So it make the fatty acid come with the bile acid together and send them to the intestinal wall, and then it's absorbed. The second one is the fatty liver control. As you know, when we feed more fat in the diet, the body don't need such fat. So the body keeps this fat stored in the body. And one of these places is the liver. So why the liver is the most important here? Because the liver have some function. And if the liver is fatty and full of fat, this function is not optimized and is not working well. So in this case, we increase and we encourage the fat oxidation in the liver. In this case, the liver itself clean itself from the fat, as Dr. Sami today has explained the mechanism. So I'm going to skip to the next step. The third point is the intestinal damage repair. As we know that the aquaculture sector is growing in many countries, and the aquaculture feed depends mainly for the protein source on the fish meal and for the oil on the fish oil. So we have used that for many years. But now with today's situation, there is the availability of fish oil and fish meal is less. So we need to find alternative sources. And this alternative source is not so matching with the animal requirement. For example, they have some fatty acid the body don't need it. So the body takes this unfavorable fatty acid and keep them in the liver. This is not. And the second one, these alternative protein sources and fish oil sources like soybean or soybean oil or cottonseed, whatever, they have some side effect. Is affecting the bacteria, affecting the intestinal health. So here, the bile acid help the intestine to be stronger and have thicker layer to protect it from the pathogenic bacteria. And also, you know, when you increase the fat and you increase the anti-nutritional factors, you increase the ROS molecules, and this make inflammation. And in this case, the bile acid help to catch this ROS or reactive oxygen species and then protect the intestine. As we see here in this picture, the green one is the good one, the red one is the bad one. And then the green one, that we have a thicker layer and we have much of the good bacteria. But in the red one, that we have less bacteria, less mucus layer, less layer thickness, and which means the healthy here, the intestine is not healthy. So the bile acid help you to achieve this merit. Why? Because intestine is the gate, is the main door for our body, for the bacteria, for the digested metabolites. So it's very important to keep your animal health or your fish health with high good intestine quality. The fourth one is the mycotoxin elimination. As we know that, as I heard from the doctor today, that he said that in Bangladesh, there is high humidity and there is high temperature, and this is very important factors for fungi growth. And when fungi grow, they produce some toxins. And whatever you are doing, for example, you are doing a heat treatment, you are doing wash treatment, whatever, you still have some toxins. And these toxins don't go away. So you need something to catch these toxins, which are called the mycotoxin. And as we know, most of feed stuff or feed or plant material, they have already one or two at least of these mycotoxins. So using here the bile acid or mycotoxin binder is very, very important. Here, as we see in this picture, it's an experiment. They get some toxins, mycotoxins with some bile acid, and it changed the concentration. And they found the bile acid more have concentration of bile acid, more the bile acid catch this mycotoxin and avoid the body the toxicity in the intestine. And here we will see in summarized way that how the bile acid controls the toxins. It's not just the bile acid catches the toxin, but also the bile acid increase the gene in the liver. These genes produce some enzymes, and this enzyme break down the mycotoxin. Another is that the bile acid, when we add bile acid to the feed, this bile acid go back to the gallbladder and then go back again to the intestine and make this cycle between the liver and the intestine. Within this cycle, this bile carries some toxins out of the liver to the intestine and then go out of the body. For the heat stress, actually, heat stress is more important in poultry. But let me focus here on the fish. We know that the fish is cold water organism. It means when you increase the temperature, the fish body temperature increased. When you decrease the temperature, the fish body temperature decreased, which means that if we have high temperature, and then you will find the fish body temperature getting higher. But when the temperature getting higher in the fish, they increase the metabolism. At the beginning, there is no problem. But after, when the metabolism continue that the waste of this metabolism increased, and then you need something to clean after this metabolism. And here, mostly we have this ROS. ROS, it's some radical or some toxin molecules that the bile acid directly catch them, then keep the body activated, keep the fatty acid oxidation at high level. Then you will have high weight for your farm, and then you will have much money, of course. The sixth point is that the molting enhancer. Molting is mainly related to the shrimp, of course, other crustaceans, but let's focus on the shrimp. Molting is a process that the shrimp change their exoskeleton, as we change our clothes, is something like that. So when the body of shrimp exclude its cover, then the body is not so strong, because this is kind of physical. When we have the skin, this can protect our body from outside things. So when that shrimp change this exoskeleton, the body of the shrimp at this time is weak, which means the bacteria is easily going to attack the shrimp. So here we need something protects the shrimp. This is number one. And the second is when you change the exoskeleton and build a new one, you need energy. And here the energy comes from the fat. So you need the bile acid to increase the fat oxidation to give the shrimp the energy he need, and then he easily get a new exoskeleton. From this, and the last one is the bile acid increase the fat oxidation is okay, but the fat oxidation results in some molecules, including some important molecules is very important. For example, the cholesterol is related to the hormones it is. So this cholesterol go to the endosine, and this endosine is a hormone very important for shrimp to help them to have new exoskeleton. The seventh point is very important, and actually it's a new application for the bile acid have been determined recently. In this point that the bile acid have a very important role and function to prevent the disease. You know, in the industry, we are not going to wait something happen and then we try to help ourselves. But basically, we start to avoid this problem. So how the bile acid help us to prevent disease or control disease? I summarize the reasons here in this screen, and mainly they are related to three parts. The first one is the pathogen, the bacteria. You know, when the bacteria attack our body, even for human, they produce some toxins. The toxins come to our body and attack our immune system, attack our intestine, and then we are sick. So what the bile acid doing here? The bile acid catch these toxins from the bacteria, and then the bacteria have no way to attack the body. In this case, the bacteria communication with each other, they produce more toxins, but there is no results. So they cannot control the immune system. They cannot attack the body. So the bile acid here help them that there is no effect. Another effect with the pathogen, the bile acid directly come to the bacteria and attach to the bacteria and break down the cell wall. So the bile acid come and attach and make them break, because this is fat. So the bile acid come and break down this fat, so the bacteria die, especially the pathogenic bacteria. But the good bacteria can bear the bile acid. It's no problem. They are together. The indirect, that there is some other toxins the bile acid cannot control. But when these toxins go to the immune system and do some trouble, the bile acid come from the other side and help to fix these problems. The second part is the intestine. As we said before, the bile acid can catch ROS. ROS is a radical, some charge, like positive charge, negative charge, radical, negative charge. And they, when come to the intestine, they make inflammation. You know, when something chemicals come to our body, we do like this. So there is something wrong here. It's the same, actually, it looks like similar like that. So the bile acid catches these molecules and then protect the intestine. And then the intestine is very strong. As we say, the intestine is the gate for the body. So more we control this gate, more we protect our body from the bad things. For example, toxins, pathogenic bacteria, whatever. The indirect way that the bile acid help the good bacteria to grow. And when these bacteria grow, they producing some short chain fatty acid. This short chain fatty acid is not for energy. Actually, it looks like drugs. They're doing something good for the body. So the bile acid kills the bad bacteria and keeps the good bacteria. That's very nice. For the liver, as we have also said, increase the fatty oxidation and increase the the holding or attaching to the ROS molecules, which also increase the inflammation. And the last one, increase the genes in the liver, which they are responsible to break down the toxins. The last one, as we have mentioned earlier, that when you add bile acid to the feed, this bile acid go to the liver and back again to the intestine, back again to the liver, and this cycle every time, it carries some toxins and get them out of the liver to the intestine and then out of the body. For the feed intake, sometimes when we use different protein sources, plant protein sources, for example, and then it's decrease the feed intake or decrease the palatability. When the fish come to eat, they don't feel it's delicious. So the point here is how we solve this problem. For the bile acid can solve this problem from 2 points. The first one is use the bile acid receptor. What does it mean? When the fish eat proteins, these proteins break down to amino acid, and then amino acid use some channel to come in the body. Bile acid use the same channel to come in the body. When the bile acid use the same channel, this channel send a message to the mind of the fish or shrimp and tell the mind the shrimp already eat delicious food, which means the fish come again and eat more and more. So increase the feed intake. The second point is the bile acid receptor itself. There is a bile acid receptor. It feels the bitterness of the bile acid. When you eat if you, for example, if in our home, like for example in Egypt, like my mom go to my grandmother to go to like prepare chicken for our lunch or something while I'm young. So she come to cut she slaughter and then come to clean and something. So if she mistakenly break down the bile, the gallbladder, yeah, and then this green solution come to the meat, and when you eat, you feel like there is something bitter, In this case, this bitterness have a receptor in our tongue and also in the intestine of the fish. When they feel it, they induce the insulin, they decrease the insulin resistance, and they increase the lipid oxidation, and also they decrease the inflammation. So in this case, the body metabolism will be improved, which means the body is ready to consume more and give you the energy. So this is now we understand how the bile acid help us to solve some problems in our farm or in our factory. Here, I will show you some research results, actual research results, to show you how the bile acid effective in treating the real situation. In this experiment, they use the common carp, and the common carp is a fatty fish, which means they are able more than other fish to accumulate more fat in their body. Which means when we use this kind of fish as a model, we can understand so much information. Here, they use 30% protein, dietary limit about 8%, and the carbohydrate is too much, it's about 45. And the fish meal only 10% of the total diet. And here they use as about 600 milligram. Doesn't reach 1 gram per kilogram feed. And we found here it's the growth increased 40%. So here it means if you earn $100, it means after you use bile acid in this condition, you will earn $140. So it's a big number. Another example, this here in solia, this kind of fish, in Arabic we say it's musa, musa fish, Moses fish. And these fish also have, they don't have much data, but they use data protein and some data protein mostly from the plant sources. And here the growth body weight increased by 36%, which means if you earn $100, it means you will earn $136. Actually, the next paper will show some results. But in science, when we do experiment, we design this experiment to answer one or two questions. It's not industrial experiment, which means it gives us some information to understand something. And based on this understanding, we come to recommendation and we get the real results. For here, the bile acid improves the gut barrier, which means improve the intestine health. For here, increase the BUFA. BUFA is one of the feed additives, and it's very expensive. And the digestibility, if we increase the digestibility of BUFA, which is polyunsaturated fatty acid, is very important. If we increase this fatty acid, so we increase the growth. So here, the bile acid increase the emulsification and also increase the lipase activity, which means the BUFA will come in the body more than before after we use the bile acid. Also here, it's related to the immune and molting and intestine health in shrimp, and also here, also for, as I see here, is also for growth, but it's not so much here because they put a little dose, is not so much, so the result is not so high. So it just gives some benefits for the immune system because it's not enough. But if you use enough dose, that we are going to expect that we have high production level. Here also the for shrimp, and this also like small amount. So based on this literature information analysis, and we observe our customer case around the world in different conditions, Egypt, India, and other countries, that we come to a conclusion how much we need to use to get how much production. Here we for herbivorous fish, for example, tilapia, common carp, and whatever, we use from 200 to 500. And for carnivorous fish, that is on eel or Cebus cyprium, whatever, we use also from 600 to 1,000. It's 1 kilogram per ton. And the last one is for shrimp, from 800 to 1 kilogram. And here, why we keep the range is it's not one number. Why we don't say 500? Why we don't say 1 kilogram? Because the dose is different based on your situation. And here in our department, technical department, we are here to serve you. So when you get a discussion together, we can help you to know which level is convenient for your condition, what kind of plant protein sources, or if it's an industrial secret, that you can tell us how much percent in your diet, or what kind of other feed additives we are using. So I'll tell you, no, here you use less, no, here you use much. And we help you in this discussion to get you the balanced nutrition and the right dose and the highest production and lowest cost. Thank you. This is all my presentation, and feel free if you have any question. If something I have explained but is still not clear, feel free to ask. I will be very happy to help you.
Okay, doctor. Thank you. Bye bye. No questions now.
Okay. Yeah, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. No problem. Welcome anytime.
Okay, keep in touch.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.